Then we continue with our class Shemoneh Perakim, Rambam, and we start with the Sefer Chofetz Chaim. And today's big topic is the same. We started, I think, last time. Lashon Hara, general rules. Today's topic, like any other prohibition, as with any Torah prohibition, one cannot justify speaking Lashon Hara on the basis of personal need or practicality. A Jew must be prepared to forego his comfort, social status, or even livelihood, rather than transgress Torah law. Needless to say, it is forbidden to speak Lashon Hara to gain popularity or win friendship. Okay, that's a very strong statement. So let's read it again, and we're going to explain. So it says, as with any Torah prohibition, one cannot justify speaking Lashon Hara on the basis of personal need or practicality. So what does it mean? So when we have to be ready to give up everything, not to violate one Torah commandment, the smallest one. Okay, of course, we don't know which is the smallest, which one is the biggest, but that's what it is, right? And to practice one positive commandment, so we must be ready to give up. I think, if I remember correctly, 1/5 of whatever we own, right? So, for example, somebody is in jail or something, God forbid, and he has the opportunity to bribe a guard to put on tefillin. That's 1/5. That's what you have to pay. HaShem. But not to violate a Torah commandment, which is Lashon Hara, as we said many times, is one of them. And according to many poskim and according to Talmud, is as we said last time also, it's the biggest sin. Right? We have to be ready to give up everything. A Jew must be prepared to forego his comfort, social status, and even livelihood. Right? So be ready to lose your job or something, right? Rather than transgress Torah law. Any Torah law. Okay. Needless to say, it is forbidden to speak Lashon Hara to gain popularity and friendship. Okay, so if you have to be ready to forego all of these things. Needless to say, just to get friendly with somebody. So we had a conversation with someone today, and the person they say according to big rabbis, whatever big rabbis, these people never have a book right now with them. Of course, they don't remember the names. Of course, this and of course that. So you're allowed to invite Jews so they can drive to you on Shabbos. Okay, on a constant basis, basically. Okay, so here it says absolutely not. They say, yeah, there is a permission. Okay. One must not succumb to social pressure and engage in gossip in the same way that one would not compromise the kosher standards due to the social pressure. I think it's very good analogies, right? Very good parallel. So if let's say, right, if everybody is going to eat non-kosher, well, people allowed, not allowed, Jews or not Jews, let's say even non-Jews, even the non-Jews, they eat in McDonald's, right? There is no problem with eating McDonald's for them, right? For you, it is a huge problem, right? So, of course, if they are going to ask you and plead with you, this and that, of course, you're not going to eat, right? Unless they threaten your life or something, God forbid, but otherwise, you're not going to eat. So it's exactly the same restriction, same negative commandment not to speak Lashon Hara. You understand? So that's why when somebody starts speaking Lashon Hara, you must leave. If you can, if you have courage to stand up and stop them, if they're going to listen to it, yes, that's you must do. But otherwise, if you cannot stop them, they're not going to listen. Don't leave, or don't be there in the first place. If you know, like if you were there before, and you know that's how these people are. So who told you that you're allowed to go there? Right? Because you put yourself you put a stumbling block in front of the blind, and you put yourself in a situation where you're going to sin for sure, guarantee. It's not maybe. it is forbidden to comply with an employment demand that one reveal information, which is Lashon Hara. Even in such a failure means the loss of one's job. So that's a tough situation, very tough situation. And we had have a few guys who were my students, and they were managers. And something happened. I mean, the manager of not a huge manager, like maybe group of people, 5-7 people, and something happened. And basically, it was his responsibility to deliver on time. And that person said yes, and he didn't do anything, right? So now they ask from my students, whose fault is it? We understand it's not you, your manager, but whose fault is it? So now. So if it's not a Jew, that's a different issue, right? But in that case, right, you would be allowed to. But but one case it was a Jew, so and of course he was not observant. It would, like, on one hand it would seems like no problem, but I told him, come to this guy and tell him write to this big boss email. That's what I did. I'm sorry, CC you and stuff like that. Let him tell. Like, of course, I mean, why should you tell this guy? Why would you put your Alam Haba in jeopardy? He did whatever he did, right? Let him take responsibility. Okay, that's a solution. Okay. Similarly, but it is pressure. It's huge pressure. And in both cases, people were very scared. I mean, they were working so hard to get this position, and now when they first refuse and say one and another one said that, no, but let me work out with these people, maybe this, maybe that. So, but boss was demanding, like in another case, HR was demanding. We must know who did it. Very, very interesting. Not easy situation. Similarly, the commandment to honor one's father and mother does not justify speaking Lashon Hara. So because father said, of course you have to respect your father and mother, and she needs to know, like, what your aunt said and this and this birthday, because your mother could not go, so you went, and what did they say about me? Why when they find out that I'm absent, I'm this and that. So you're not allowed to say not. In this case, you're allowed to lie. Okay, it's not like a lie, but says something vague, so would not frame anybody basically. One must respectfully refuse the parents' request. The derogatory and harmful information must be related. So they're angry and they invested their life in you and this and that. Of course they did, but HaShem invested a little more than they. You understand? HaShem said, do not talk Lashon Hara, but they have different opinion. Right? Like several people left commentary on now, what is it, clips, short clips, and saying that we have to adjust Torah a little and smile, and a smiley face. Like Torah does not belong to us, that we can adjust. So even for parents, for a spouse, and she would say, your wife would say, you don't trust me, you this, you that, so you think that I'm this and this. So you have to be politician a little and try to get out of the situation without compromising Torah law. Stop here. Any questions on what we said before we continue? Okay, no problem. So, so we started chapter number 8, and
excuse me, right?
Go ahead.
So are you saying that you can say Lashon Hara about non-Jews? No.
Yes, yeah. That's halacha. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
So and in this, not only about non-Jews, about people who do not observe Torah mitzvahs. So because it says that you're not allowed to say about your brothers, even though my biological brothers and sisters, but since they cut themselves from the nation of Israel, I did not do it. So you can speak Lashon Hara about them, but Chofetz Chaim and said not so fast. Not so fast. Because if you're going to get in habit to talk about non-Jews, right, even a wicked one, right, or even a wicked wicked Jews, like it's going to become your second nature, and then it's only a matter of time when you're going to start speaking Lashon Hara about kosher people. You understand? Even though it is allowed, we don't do it unless it's for constructive purpose. If it's not like okay, so they go to bars and drink like and marry each other for one day. So I mean, it's not. So if I'm going to say that how is it going to change anything? You understand? If it's like for practical example, so I said and Torah teaches otherwise, that I can mention it. It's not it was for constructive purpose, but otherwise, like what we're trying to achieve. You understand? But the main point is not to get used to saying these things about people in general.
Okay. Thank you.
Very good question. Thank you. Oh, you heard it. Okay. Any other questions? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Somebody? Okay, no problem. So we continue then with chapter number 8. So it's last chapter. And it's very, very interesting topic. It's a composition of the human nature. And just a quick summary for people who missed it. It's very interesting. So we're talking about how a person is born with with predispositions to do this and that, right? And with predisposition with tendencies, right? So, and we have to work on these tendencies and basically go on a Torah way. Whatever Torah says is good, so it is always good. Whatever Torah says is bad, it is bad. So we don't have to like doubt it. Okay. So the problem is, as we always say, the problem is with us. If, for example, somebody does not a Torah law or find it offensive, so the problem is that person character. That's it. That's problem with us always, not with the Torah. Torah is straight, and as Rambam quoted, I would not say where is it, but it says that path of HaShem is straight, and righteous go there and prosper, and the wicked goes in the same path and stumble and became wicked. So is the problem with the Torah? There is no problem with the Torah. Problem with the person. Okay. So let's do next paragraph. if somebody is following, we're on page number 48. Similarly, similarly on this basis, we're obligated with regard to the duties to others, and charged with taking necessary precautions. As the book of truth, the Torah states, very interesting, book of truth, that the Torah is actually in parentheses, it's from a translator. Book of truth states, and you shall make guardrail for your roof, lest a person fall. Let him go home, lest he die in war. Return it to him. So it's a different quotes. There is alone. This alone is a covenant, covering. Okay, so it's next quote. In what will he sleep? Okay, another quote. Do not take an upper millstone or lower millstone, for there is taken person's life security. Security. Okay. Similarly, we find many other verses in Torah and the works of the prophet that emphasize the importance of taking precautions within the context of the natural means available. So let's try to understand what it says here. So I mean, Rambam provides us like not even complete quotes, but partial quotes, right? And let's there is no commentary. I mean, there is one small commentary, but we're going to explain. Okay. So in this book, just so understand, maybe there is another book with more commentary, but in this book, it's almost zero commentary, almost. Okay. So let's read it from the beginning and we'll explain. Similarly, on this basis, we are obligated with regard to the duties to others and charged with taking necessary precautions. Okay, as the book of truth, the Torah states, and you shall make a guardrail all on your roof, lest a person falls. So, as well as when we work on our character, so we have to take all of the precautions, like spiritual and physical. So what would be the spiritual? Exactly as we said in the beginning of our class. So if you know that these people are going to speak Lashon Hara, you know it's your coworkers. You've been with the company for 7 years, 10 years. You know, like that's what they do. These two guys, like they like yentas. They have to discuss everybody. They have to discuss this boss and the bigger boss that come only every 6 months, and they have to discuss and this stupid and that salesperson. So I mean, spiritual precaution not to be there, and same with the physical precautions, right? So our sages say you have to. In the Hilchas Teshuvah, you have to build for yourself guardrail. Like don't come close. And in Torah it says, make yourself guardrail on a roof, right? Lest a person fall. Actually, the direct translation, literal translation, lest the fallen fall. Right, so here is like a better translation, right? Lest the person fall, but in the actual literal is lest the fallen fall. So what does it mean? So a person is destined to fall, right? For whatever he did in this life, and he has to die. But let that not be this through your roof. Let him go to his home, to somewhere, to get electrocuted somewhere on a street and a restaurant, in this place, that place. Let not sin come through you. As we learn in the previous chapters, Rambam say that sins are going to come through the ones who are through the sinners, right? And mitzvahs are going to come through the tzaddikim. The good things are going to come into the world. Okay, so Torah says if you're going to build the fence around the roof, so nobody is going to fall. So simple explanation is that in olden days they would almost everybody had a flat roof, right? And they would use this flat roof for many chores in the house. They would dry fruits there, vegetables, and do laundry, and take in bath even. All of these good things. So meaning that the people were very often on the roof. So they you have to build a fence. Okay. Guardrail. Let him go home. Let him die in the war. Right? Lest he die in the war. So that's another one. So it says there, it's before the war. So the whole army marching to the front line, and the coin, special coin, not the coin gadol, but it's a special coin. There is a sign specifically for this mission, to lead people into war, like encourage them, right? Give them speech. So they would ask who just married, who planted the vineyard, and have enjoyed the harvest, who built the house but never moved in, and stuff like that. All these things, and they would let people live, and of course they trying to find the people who are frail of heart, like because these people who are sinners, they know that they're going to die, right? So because, as we know, there is this famous quote which says, there is a sin that kills, not anything else. People die because of their sins. I mean, okay, especially in the time of war. So we said, okay, just go. I don't want this guy die because of me. So be careful. You're Kohen, you're an officer in charge. So make sure that these people that Torah said not to be in the front line, they be not in the front line. Okay. Next one, return to him. This is alone is his covering. So I think it's a security for the loan, right? When a poor person like asks you for a loan, and he does not have anything for collateral, so everything he has his clothing. Okay, so you take his clothing for a night, and then in the morning you return, because that's all he has, right? Right? Or if it's night clothing, so you return him at night. Okay. Do not take upper millstone or a lower millstone, for that is a keeping person's life in security. So, and same as a collateral. Okay, somebody owes you money. So if you take the millstone, millstone is to grind the grains to produce flour to make themselves bread. So don't take some, like, even the person owes you money, right? But if you take his tools with which they make money, so you basically killing the person. Okay, maybe you're angry, maybe this, maybe that, but you can kill the person if you take the millstone. Now they cannot eat. Okay, so we have to be very careful. Continue. Similarly, we find many other verses in the Torah that works in the works of the prophet that emphasize the importance of taking precautions within context of the natural means available. So we don't have to predict what is going to be in the future, this and that. So, but simple precautions according to the Torah. So that's what we must do, and it's very interesting. So people always worry when we start learning the laws of witnesses, right? The laws of the witnesses, the laws of Sanhedrin. So people get very nervous. So not everybody, but some people. But they say, but look, Rabbi, to prove that this guy is wrong, that he did something wrong, that is almost impossible, and how the court can decide rightfully in this and that if witnesses lie. So, and it's Torah says very, very, very clearly. So judges must judge on what they eye see. So they don't have to make up things and maybe in the future, in 5 months from now, it's going to happen. No. Whatever our eye see, that's how we judge. You understand? And same is here with all of the natural things, right? We have to be very cautious. Continue. Next paragraph. There is a contradiction. There is no contradiction to this from the following statement of our sages. Everything in the hands of heaven except the fear of heaven. This statement is true and confirms with conceptual framework that we have explained. Nevertheless, many people err with regard to it and imagine that a person is fated with regard to many of the matters in which it is given free choice. For example, whether he will marry a particular woman or acquire a sum of money through theft. Okay, so that's very interesting. So every paragraph has a lot of information. So let's do this paragraph again, and we're going to explain. So Rambam continues, there is no contradiction to this from the following statement of our sages. Everything in the hands of heaven except the fear of heaven. So that's, I'm sure you've heard it many, many times. It's from Talmud Brachas 33a. Okay, no problem. So what does it mean? Nothing is up to us, right? Be a person rich or poor, sick or healthy, right? With the sickness, it's only one exception. The only exception is the flu. So if a person did not wear a hat or a scarf or did not put a jacket because of his or her stupidity or because of the heat overheated, so it's his or her fault. But otherwise, all of the diseases from heaven, and same with other things. So some people praise, and I have this student, and very righteous lady, very, 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 very righteous lady, very righteous family, right? Her husband also in our group, and their relatives, they drive them crazy. They say, okay, you became religious, so why you not rich? These not normal people. So they associate righteousness. So if this couple is tzaddikim, right? So in my mind, I mean. But their relatives say, no, if you're so righteous, if you love your God as you say, and your God is love you as you saying back, so why you not rich? You understand? That's what people do. That's what people think, right? So if you're religious, you have to be rich. Okay. So one more time. So, and now sages say everything in the hands of heaven except for the fear of heaven. So here's a free choice. So HaShem almost never, ever takes, except so small exceptions, take a free choice from a person. Okay, so continue. This statement is true and confirms with conceptual framework that as we have explained. Okay, meaning that conceptual framework that a person must work on his character. So I mean, I'm talking about not today what we said last time. So just because person was born with this tendency, he cannot say no, that's how Hashem created. That's not how Hashem created you. That's what you made yourself, right, into this monster. So we have to work on ourselves, and same with natural occurrences. We have to be like very vigilant and work on ourselves. Nevertheless, many people err with regard to it and imagine that a person is fated with regard to the many of the matters in which he is given a choice. Okay, so very interesting. So what, right? For example, whether he will marry a particular woman or acquire some of money through the theft. Okay, so people try to lie on this resume, and there were a few times somebody asked me to be one of the references on the Shidduch resume, and I read the resume like a few times. I was almost fainted. Like this person, like lied from the beginning. I mean, maybe about age. I don't know the exact age. Maybe they did not lie, or maybe the address or phone number or email. But like 90% of what they say, it was not true. So why? Because this person thought and unless they would lie and pretend to be someone else, they would not get married, right? Or here is unless people steal or cheat the government or cheat a customer or cheat your boss, so they're never going to have enough money. You understand? So that's not Jewish approach, right? So we say it's all in the hands of HaShem, and what is in my hands to be righteous. That's it. So they ask me all of this question on resume. I tell them the truth. If the truth is not good for them, so they're going to reject. They're going to reject. Okay, no problem. Like there's a young fellow in my shul, and I think I spoke about him before. So a brilliant young fellow in his 20s. So when he was, I read his resume. It's amazing. Maybe he was 12 or 13 years old. I don't remember exactly. So he decided, and he was going to public school. He said, I cannot go to the public school. That's it. I'm going to lose my eternity. I'm not sure how he got there, but I never asked him. Maybe a little early. And he put himself in yeshiva. There is a yeshiva here where I live, for people like that, where parents not very observant, right? So, but it's very interesting, very interesting yeshiva, and that's where we take in our students, younger students. It's a high school. Right? And he studied, and then he got transferred to world renowned yeshiva in the different neighborhood, and then he got to the Mir Yeshiva, so the top, the one of the top yeshivas in the world, basically. And he wants to be rabbi, and he gives speeches. Used to give, no longer, right? In a shul where I go, right, on Shabbos afternoon, and not every time, but when the rabbi is done there, or rabbi would ask him. So very nice, very like sweet person, and very knowledgeable in Torah, and very straight, Baruch Hashem. And when it came to get married, so they said, no, but your background, your parents, and plus your brother is not religious, the younger brother, the older brother also not Shabbos observant. So but you see that he's a brilliant, he's a diamond, but the family is not the biggest. They're not like normal people, like honest. I know father, mother, they are not like working people, right? Nothing extraordinary. Let's say, let's put it good people, right? So and. Many people rejected him, like not even like they did not want to even go to the shidduch. And guess what? Somebody from a different town saw his resume, and yet he got married. So all of these rejected people, They still reject it. But he, he said in his resume, I want to build the house of Kedusha. That's what he wants. He said, I don't care what is she, how is she. I mean, of course he cares, but he said, I want the one. If she is not ready to build the house of holiness, I do not care. Don't even bother me. You understand? And he got married to a daughter of Rabbi who appreciate these things. So don't what I'm trying to say. You don't have to lie. Right? HaShem is going to send you this the right shidduch. HaShem is going to send you the right amount of money so you can survive. Okay, continue. This is absolutely not true. Okay, okay. For if person marries a woman, granting her a marriage contract, and perform the rites of Kiddushin, he is performing a mitzvah, and God does not decree that he will perform any mitzvahs. Okay. Should the marriage be forbidden, entering into it, it is a sin, and God does not decree that we will perform any sins. Okay, so let's try to understand what it says in this paragraph. So one more time, and we're going to explain. This is absolutely not true. I mean, so you have to lie, you have to cheat. For if person marries a woman, granting her marriage contract, and perform the rites of Kiddushin. Okay, so Kiddushin is a first act. He is performing the mitzvah, and God does not decree that he will perform any mitzvahs. And God does not decree that we will perform any mitzvahs. Should the marriage be forbidden, entering into it, it is a sin. And God does not decree that we will perform any sins. I'm not sure, tell you the truth, I'm not sure what does it mean, but let's continue reading. I'm not going to comment on it because I'm not sure where he's leading. So Kiddushin, there are two stages in marriage, Kiddushin and Nisuim. So Kiddushin is the first stage. Well, what is this first stage? It's like in English, it's not exactly, but it's closer to engagement. So what is engagement? That he gives you a ring, give you whatever valuable, and they agree to marry, and that's it. So she, in some sense, is a married woman, right? So she cannot, if she wants, if she changes her mind and wants to marry somebody else, she has to get divorced, basically, from him. Even though they live in different houses, they never been together, stuff like that. So but today they do Kiddushin and Nisuim in one day, like under the chuppah. We do everything in one act because it can become very messy. Okay, with people changing their minds very often. Okay, so continue. Similarly, if one robs money, belongs to someone else, steals it, deceives him, denies possession of the money that was entrusted, and take false oath about it, this is a sin. If one said that God decreed that this person should acquire this money, and that he should take it from the second person, God would be decreeing that the person commit a sin. Okay, maybe we read this, we explain this, maybe we come back to this a little later, previous paragraph. So basically, what Rambam is saying, that Hashem's ways are straight, and he does not decrease that people would lie and cheat. So one more time. Similarly, if one robs the money belong to somebody else, right, steals it. Okay, robs, steals. Robs, I guess it's in open. Steals in secret, right? Denies possession of the money, meaning, especially in olden days. So today we have a bank. So I do, even unless I have stashed cash somewhere, so I don't need anybody, right? So if I go to vacation, let's say, or summer, so in olden days, what people do, they didn't have banks, right? So they would entrust these savings or whatever valuables to neighbors, to relatives, to friends, to whatever, right? And sometimes a person would deny that taking charge of this money, and say the person would come back 6 months later and said, "Thank you very much. Can I get my money back?" And the other person said, "What money?" nice to see you, but what money? You need the loan? No. He said, no. The money that I left you. No, I apologize. Maybe it was too hot in the place where you go. Maybe it's I don't know. You never gave me any money. So that's and the person who would go to the court and he would take an oath, right? It's a rabbinic oath. I think it's rabbinic. Is it biblical? I think it's rabbinic. And he would deny ever taking money from that guy. Very interesting, right? So meaning it's another way of stealing. He once said that God decreed that the person should acquire the money. So if a person, he basically person decided to lie, person decided to steal, and he said no, but it's probably HaShem wanted me to be rich, and that's how he put in my mind this idea how to get rich quickly, right? That's what people say. And that he should take it from the second person. God would be decreeing that the person commits a sin. So HaShem never decreed upon anybody to decree a sin. That's freedom of choice. Of course, and same with the mitzvah. HaShem would provide this opportunity of the mitzvah, but just because a person has an opportunity does not mean that he's going to jump on the mitzvah and actually do it. That's different things. Okay, continue. This is not true. Instead, the totality of the person's conduct is given over to him and dependent on his choice. In this sphere, one finds compliance and defiance. As we explained in the second chapter, the commandments and prohibition of the Torah apply only to those actions that person has a choice whether to perform or not. That this element of the soul should be God-fearing is not in the hands of heaven, but rather given over the man's choice, as we have explained. So let's do this paragraph again, and we're going to explain. So, but the main idea, so to be God-fearing or not, it's up to the person. I mean, the person knows the truth. No, he or she learned that HaShem is master of the world. He knows what is going on in my heart. He knows all my hidden thoughts. So, and then person tried to cheat like other people, and say maybe HaShem agreed. That's not serious. So let's do this again and explain. This is not true, meaning HaShem did not decree a person to sin. Instead, the totality of the person's conduct is given over to him and dependent on his choice, right? Everything, whatever you do, good or bad, it's up to us. In this sphere, one finds compliance and defiance. And there were many opportunities. And like, for example, with this Siddur, I have somebody close to me, right? One of the person I learned with, and that person has a daughter, and daughter the same age as this young fellow that I just said, right? Like a few months, she when I saw her resume, I knew that she's approximately this. She's like 5 months younger than him, like ideal couple. But he wants to learn the Torah for the next 3 to 5 years, and parents agreed to sponsor. It's not like he was asking somebody money, and that's what I advise his father to say on the resume, that his father is going to sponsor. We don't need your money, so don't be scared. But this family wanted to find professional. They all like professionals. So because of whatever, and this guy, like when he saw this girl's resume, and he told me, no, I'm not interested. I said, why not? I'm telling you, she's a nice girl. But he said, from this yeshiva, that's the mentality. And guess what? Father confirmed, yes, they're only looking for professionals. So if he's professional to be a rabbi, and they get the salary as a rabbi, get the salary as a avrech, so that's not good. So, and I told this person, look, it's a lifetime opportunity. This is a diamond. I know this guy. Come to his classes. You and your daughter, let her stay behind Mechitza. Let her look. Let them meet. Like it's the only shidduch that I ever offered to your daughter, even though I know you for a long time, and I think it's a good match. And guess what? They say no, nothing. We pass. That's how people can lose the opportunity. Was the opportunity presented? Yes. Was it there? Yes. Was it positive? Yes. And they decided not. Very sorry. As we explained in the second chapter, the commandment and prohibition of the Torah apply only to those actions that a person has choice whether to perform it or not. So HaShem would reward somebody or punish somebody only if person had the freedom of choice. So if person had no freedom of choice, person is not going to get punished. I give one example that just came to my head. For example, there are three cardinal sins that a person has to choose death and not to commit. So it's Gilui Arayis, meaning this forbidden intimate relations, right? What is it? Murder. So if they tell you to murder somebody, will be going to murder you. So you get yourself murdered and don't get murdered. And the third is bow to the idol, right? So whatever idol is it, so they tell you bow to the idol. You say kill me, and I'm going to bow to the idol. But after the fact, if person succumb under the pressure and he did bow to the idol, he did murder somebody, right? Or he was involved in this relationship. So after the fact, there is no punishment, right? From the hands of heaven. But here this court, I don't think they can execute the person. Why? Because again, it was not exactly freedom of choice. How is he's going to be judged in heaven? That's a different issue. Again, but in some sense, a person did not have a freedom of choice. It was too much pressure, even though he was supposed to choose one, but he chose the other. Continue. That these elements of the soul element of the soul should be God-fearing is not in the hands of heaven. So, as we said before, whether a person is going to be God-fearing or not, it's up to him, up to person, right? So there is no direct involvement of tampering with the freedom of choice from heaven. Okay, but it's rather given over to the man's choice, as we have explained. Any questions before we continue? Because it's a lot of material, Baruch Hashem.
So, Rabbi, so all those people, the people that say that they're rainbow colors, I heard from Yeshivah, from Rabbi, so it's really funny, actually cracked me up a little bit. He said, so all these people that say they were born that way, it's absolutely not true.
No.
By the way that I'm reading this, because if God didn't make them like that, because he's like, no, I didn't make you to perform these acts. That's your choice.
Exactly. It's like the simple logic, straightforward logic of what we are saying here. So HaShem said, if you perform this, whatever this is, I'm going to punish you. So, but if you're going to perform this, I'm going to reward you. So, meaning we have a freedom of choice, right? Otherwise, if a person is not is not capable of doing something, right? How can you punish him, right? As Rabbi Reuven Shlita always said this example: if you have a 3 or 5 years old baby and you tell baby take a 18-wheel truck trailer and go to the 5th floor and carry it on your head, otherwise I'm going to punish you. So no normal person is going to do it, because it's impossible even for grown up to do that, even for 10 people. You understand? So HaShem in his mercy, he would not say something that is not possible for a person to do, right? And he called them, call these people abomination, and they say all of the people have to be stoned. So he never said that because a person has this nose or this gray eyes or green eyes, they have to be stoned, or because his one leg is shorter than the other, right? Or other deficiency. Person cannot hear. Whatever, he cannot see well, right? So it's never said because it's not a personal choice. Understand? But be righteous or wicked is a personal choice, and as we said last time, exactly as whatever you said. So a person have some predisposition. Yes, this guy was born, and he likes for somehow the other guys. Why? It's a very interesting story. It's not from nothing. It's from previous carnations, right? He got this predisposition. So now he has to work on himself to overcome this. As Rabbi Reuven Shlita said, it's a brilliant recipe. So if he's attracted to more masculine guys, right? So he more feminine, and he attracted to masculine guys. So get himself the masculine woman. So there is some women sometimes I'm trying not to look at the people, but sometimes they in your face, and you do not understand whether it's a man or a woman. Yeah, you understand? This lady that they dress like man, or like with hoodie, with jeans and stuff like that. So you don't know whether it's man, and many times it's a woman, but she like to be a guy. So if this feminine guy is going to marry this woman, they're going to be exactly as he wanted. She is going to be a boss. You understand? Not all of the men can be boss. Not all of the men, sometimes women have this problem. They want a man to be in charge and be in control and make decisions. So, and they angry. And I was working with the cases just recently. So I was pursuing this woman you just leave him alone. He does not have to have this personality to be in charge. So you be in charge. You like to make decisions. So you make decisions. There is nothing wrong. He agrees. Why you pushing him? This poor guy. You understand? So it's not the reason to get divorced because he's not a macho man and he's not he does not decide everything in the house. So you decide a little. You understand? So yeah. So all of us have tendencies, and same with other tendencies, right? So predispositions, right? So let's say man is attracted to many women. So it does not mean that he can be with any other woman besides his wife. So he has to work on himself, control himself, control his animalistic nature, and be allowed to be with his wife only when it's allowed. That's it, right? And for him, it's also a test. Even it's permissible, but it's not permissible all the time. Or some people like to eat non-stop, right? So that's that, right? Their test. They have to work on not to eat too much because it can kill them. And same with other things. So all of us have different predispositions. We just have to adjust them according to the Torah, not according to what we think is say no. Did we release this clip? For sure, we made this clip. I'm not sure whether they release it or not, but quickly we say that it's from Michtav Meliyahu, Rabbi Dessler Zatzal. So Rabbi Dessler quotes Nefesh HaChaim, Rabbi Chaim Mivolozhin. So he said there is a saying that a righteous person falls 7 times, right? And but what does it mean? Rav Chaim explained that he falls every time he falls, and every time he gets up and he learns from the circumstances of his fall, and he learns, and every fall makes him higher and higher. You understand? So next time he draws the right conclusions. But the wicked person falls only once, not once. He falls and he said, no, that's how I am. I can never get up, and people have to accept me. My family my wife, my kids, everybody, mother, I have to accept it the way I am, and I'm not going to change. You understand? That's the one, not the only, but one of the big difference between tzaddik and is a righteous man, and Rasha is a wicked man. Tzaddik is working on himself. This falls. It's impossible to go through life without falling. Impossible. But whether you're going to be righteous or not, what you're going to do with this fall? You're going to get up, right? Dust yourself and continue working on yourself, going even higher, or are you going to say, no, that's what I am? Very good questions. Okay. Any other questions? Should we continue?
I got one more.
Go ahead.
Sorry. When we started the class, it was very interesting how it started with like the way. Okay, how do I put this in this question? So the way you're able to know like if you're doing bad or good is if you obviously study the Torah, because the paragraph we read, the first paragraph, it says a guardrail, precaution, and then it goes into the I'm so sorry. I'm making mixed words. I'm so sorry. And it's saying like, oh, if you rob, it doesn't say that you're fated, but it says that God gives you a choice. Mm-hmm. And then it says like how it's similar. Oh my goodness, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm so sorry. But it's so, how the beginning of the paragraph it says how it's a guardrail. How, like the Torah is your guardrail, and it tells you this is good and it's bad. And then, I don't know how to put it in a question. I'm trying to answer the question.
But okay, so let me. I think I understood that a little. You correct me if I misunderstood. So basically, without Torah, there is no way for a person to be righteous, right? And it says in Pirkei Avot, the person who does not law cannot be Hasid. Hasid meaning a righteous person, so he does not know what to do. So Torah says put this guardrail. So why do I have to put this guardrail if it's only me and my family goes up to the roof, right? A person would say like nobody else is going to go up the roof, right? So why should I invest money? But they say because the falling is going to fall. A person, your neighbor, is going to climb on his roof. Maybe he's going to be a little drunk and he's going to, from his roof, he's going to climb on your roof, right? And he's going to fall from your side. And guess what? He was supposed to die because he was a Rasha, and it was he fell from your roof. And now you're responsible. You understand? So many things, like why would you... in my mind, it's people so arrogant. Like from the comments on our videos, you see how people arrogant, like they judge from I don't know from where. Yeah, you understand? So they say maybe Torah is wrong, maybe you are wrong. I say it's not me, it's Torah. So you dealing with Creator, not me. I'm just a parrot here. Don't get me involved in this. You understand? So Rambam said today that you have to take care of the whatever you can predict. So before we said about this spiritual things that you can predict, as we said today, right? You know this is bad company, don't be there. So, but if you went, you're 100% responsible. And a person who goes to this company, right? Company meaning this all of the Lashon Hara speaking person, he's going to be responsible for the sin, like intentional sin, which is not so easy to fix. You understand? Because here they put themselves in danger. Same with physical dangers. So don't be there. So it says you have to dress up in winter when it's cold. So you dress up in winter and when it's cold. It says that you have to eat don't eat spoiled food. Otherwise, like your stomach is going to get upset. So it means that you're not allowed. It's a Torah law, and all of the other things. Okay. Any other questions? So we stop with the book. Any other questions?
Yes, Rabbi. I have a quick question. When we're davening and we're saying the three parts of the Shema, and the part that deals with the tzitzit, why is the word tizkaru stressed? Is it so it's not confused with the other Hebrew word tizkaru?
Yes. No, because there is a beginning letter and the last letter, so they have to be separate. So if you look, yes. Otherwise, it's yeah. So if you look actually in the Shema, it's from all of the other prayers. Just look when we have time. So there was this. Like vertical lines, right? To say every word separately, and sometimes it is correct, so they would not say something wrong, of course. Right, the problem, and another problem with the prayers, when people saying very fast, so that sometimes they cut off the ending, and I would not remember now all of the examples, but it's actually in the Shema when Shulchan Aruch explains what the disaster can happen when a person drops home one letter, right? Especially when the one word finishes with one letter, and the next word starts with the same letter. So sometimes people, when they speak fast, pray fast, they would skip, and it can create technical, like basically curses in some cases. Very interesting.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Well, you're welcome. Any other questions? Any topic? Okay, one question I remember about yeshiva. So it says from WhatsApp. So the question is, the person like over 18 years old is allowed to go to yeshiva? Absolutely. I think the misconception maybe. So yeshiva is a school like instead of like public schools. Right, kids go from pre-K until the high school, and there is a yeshiva for adults. Right, like after this people after these guys, girls, they finish yeshiva, they go look to yeshiva for I don't know, forever, if they want to, forever. Absolutely, there is no problem. And of course, there is different levels of yeshiva. There is a yeshiva different types of learning. Some of them for Bal Tshuva, some go for advanced people who was born from, who want to learn in depth, and it's the different styles of yeshivas. And very interesting, the son of my chavrusa that I told you about yesterday, he's a Kohen, right? I think we have that was it Kohen? No, it was on Monday. I apologize. I said it on Monday. So one of his sons, he's a top learner. So he went to Bal Teshuvah Yeshiva. Why? Because he said, and he told us, and father could not believe. He said, I want to get you to, no, he said, Father, I want to go to this Bal Teshuvah Yeshiva, people who were never religious, right? Why? Because he said that the fire that I saw there, I did not see in other places. Baruch Hashem, he went there for 6 months and went back to his regular place. Okay, so you can learn in yeshiva forever and ever. So let's quickly do maybe one or two things from 13 principles, and we stop. Okay, so we're on principle number 10. So it says, I believe with a complete faith that the Creator, blessed is His name, knows all of the deeds of the human beings and their thoughts. As it says, He fashioned their hearts all together and comprehends all their deeds. So it's very interesting. And actually, we said something similar about this today. So we have to know that HaShem is everywhere, and He knows everything, what we're going to do, right? But it does not affect our free choice, right? As our rabbis explain, give you a quick explanation for somebody who never heard this explanation. So if a person comes to you, right, and said, I want to write on a piece of paper something, and I'm going to give you the piece of paper, right? I'm going to write what is going to happen with you tomorrow. And he gives a piece of paper, you seal it in an envelope, and we're going to open up this envelope tomorrow at 7 p.m. So you come at 7 p.m. and you open, and it was describe exactly what happened to you. So the question is, did the person affect your free choices or not? So the answer, of course, he did not affect your free choices, but he knew somehow that that's what was going to happen. So how it's irrelevant. So HaShem, who does not have any limitations, so of course he knows everything. So us, we have a limitation. So if I'm not in that room, so I cannot hear the conversation. But if I'm in that room, I can hear conversation. So, but HaShem, so because why? Because I'm physical being. I'm limited with my hearing, because I'm limited with my space and time. So, or even if I'm going to be in that room when conversation took place 5 minutes after, I'm not going to know what went there. Or 10 minutes before, or 5 days later, there is irrelevant. But HaShem is everywhere and all the time. So a person who does not believe in that is simply apikoros. Okay. Any question on that? It's a very important principle. So HaShem knows everything that is going on in our heart, but He does not affect our free choice. But He wants us to choose good. So let's do one more. Number 11. I believe with complete faith that the Creator, blessed be His name, reward with good those who observe commandments and punish those who violate His commandments. That's actually our clip from today. So we said, how do you know how you can recognize a clown in a rabbi? So it's very simple, very simple. It's this principle of Judaism, number 11. So he said, if he said there is no punishment, there is no reward and punishment. So basically you can do whatever you want, and you go to the Gan Eden, whatever you do, there is no punishment for your sins. So he's a Pikoris Gamur, so we cannot count him as a minion. He cannot be witness at your wedding, even he has a big hat, a long beard, so it does not make any difference. So principle of Judaism is that HaShem reward person midah keneged midah, measure for measure. Whatever you do, so He's going to reward you, right? Or punish you. And that's why when you go to when something is going on in your life and you do not understand what is going on, and you think that's everything in random, you go to Kosher Rabbi, God-fearing Rabbi, and you tell him the whole story. And with his Torah knowledge, he would be able to discern, with God's help, of course, what exactly going on. Because why? Simple explanation. Because HaShem did whatever is going on in our life, measure for measure. So He would not send us random punishment. It would be like a torture if it's random. I do not know even what to work on. But if it is exactly like I can discern why I'm getting this punishment, so I can fix it quickly. And I'm talking about myself. So many times in my life, I knew exactly that something was going on bad with me because just analyze it. Just use analysis and be honest with yourself, and you can figure out. Of course, I'm not special. You can only be honest, also be honest with yourself, and you can see exactly why this specific punishment came upon you in this specific moment. Very simple. So somebody who does not believe is simply apikoros, not believer. Okay, so then as you understand, all of there are many people, and even famous speakers who say there is no punishment. Okay, unfortunately, so they're in this category. Okay. Any questions on any topic? Okay, no problem. So if no questions, so we stop here and continue tomorrow, Beezrat HaShem, with a kosher kitchen. All right, thank you very much and good night until tomorrow. Thank you. And
Good night.
good night. Thank you.
Thank you, Rabbi. Have a good night.
Good night.